Welcome to the Future's All-American Selection Show, brought to you by Boomba. Well, some of the most talented youth fast pitch players will be meeting in Orlando this summer for the USA Elite Select Futures All-American Games. Joining me to discuss the rosters for the Southeast region is VP of USA Elite Select and former MPF player Dr. Jamie Loprice. And Jamie, more than 250 athletes came out for the Southeast tryouts. How did you narrow down the field?
For this one, for the Southeast, we had a tryout in Claremont, Florida, and we also had a tryout in Hampton, Georgia. We had a lot of athletes there. We had a lot of very talented athletes, all who were evaluated by NPF players. They were evaluated on different skills and then scored on their defense, their offense, and their overall athleticism. Then from there, we selected the top 24 athletes per age group.
And there are going to be rosters for 8 different regions and 2 teams for each age group.
That's right. This year, it's a little bit different. We'll have 24 kids, so we're going to split it into an American team and a national team.
All right, let's kick it off and see who made the cut. We start off with our 10U American team. Pitching, we have Michaela Cofield, Peyton Spears, and Taylor Apple.
Taylor Apple out of Burlington, North Carolina, one of our top performers, great command of the ball, really hit her spots well in the tryout.
In the outfield, we have Delacia DeLeslin and Chantel Guilou.
One of the top players to watch is Chantel Guilou. She's out of Pembroke Pines, Florida, one of the offensive standouts in that tryout.
We move to the infield. We have Peyton Fitzpatrick, Annalyn Duncan, Jillian Williams, Zaria Wright, and Kayla Wilson.
Look out for Jillian Williams from Fayetteville, Georgia. A very strong arm, has a strong presence there in the infield.
At catcher, we have Alexia Carasquillo and Desiree Devine.
Alexia Carasquillo out of Woodstock, Georgia. Quick feet. Really enjoyed watching her play behind the plate.
We move on to our national team for 10U. Pitching, we have Gabrielle Ellis, Brooklyn Allison, and Macy Centrone.
One of our top performers was pitcher Gabrielle Ellis from Green Cove Springs, Florida. A very fast athlete, throws the ball well.
In the outfield, we have Haley Bradley, Brooklyn Masters, and Ashley Diaz.
Ashley Diaz, another one of those players to watch. She's out of Wellington, Florida, a great defensive player.
And in the infield, we have Caitlin Oikel, Madison Antioco, Mackenzie Cox, and Kennedy Coakley.
Kennedy Coakley was a player that really stood out in this region. She's from Lutz, Florida, a great offensive player. Watch for her to swing the bat well.
And our catchers are Hannah Taylor and Paige Bergen.
Catcher Hannah Taylor, she's out of Brooksville, Florida, a very fast pop time, strong presence behind the plate.
We move on to the 11U American team. Pitching, we have Marissa Thompson, Samantha Heidney, and Cameron Fisher.
One of our top performers was Cameron Fisher. She's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Very good velocity. Throws the ball hard. It's going to be tough to hit.
In the outfield, we have Cassidy McClellan, Ileana Hernandez, and Alyssa Poston.
Alyssa Poston is another player that stood out. She's out of Hartsville, South Carolina. Very good speed. Got great reads on the ball in the outfield.
In the infield, Kirsten Kirby, Brianna Burnett, Alana Griffith, and Zoe Yeager.
Kirby was a player we really enjoyed watching, very smooth on the infield. She's out of Mint Hill, North Carolina.
And behind the plate, Isabella Perez and Dakota Leonard.
Dakota Leonard of Jupiter, Florida, great mechanics behind the plate, a very strong presence in the catcher position.
Let's take a look at the national 11U team. In the circle, we have Brooke Vega, Macy Ogle, and Michaela Hartman.
A top performer is Macy Ogle out of Birmingham, Alabama. Very good movement on her pitches. She's going to be tough to hit.
In the outfield, we have Daniela Frank Fernandez, Destiny Washington, and Sydney Tatarski.
An outfielder who stood out is Sydney Tatarski out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Very, very fast, covers a lot of ground in the outfield.
In the infield, we have Alyssa Hastings, Erin Lee, Erica Ramsey, and Julia Noller.
Erin Lee out of Cartersville, Georgia, another player who stood out in the infield. Very good mechanics, great hands.
And at catcher, Morgan Grubb and Zoe Johnston Haydaway.
Morgan Grubb out of Lakeland, Florida, very strong arm. She's going to be tough to steal on.
We move on to the 12U American team. Pitching, we have Madeline Wicker, Erin McLaughlin, and Maddie Lata.
Erin McLaughlin out of Homestead, Florida, had a very good arm, showed a lot of velocity with her pitches.
In the outfield, we have Madeline Brown, Jameson Brokenbraw, and Abby Herring.
Madeline Brown, one of our top performers in the outfield. She's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a very strong arm in the outfield.
Let's take a look at the infield. Jessiana Mora, Mari Robbins, Anna Taylor, and Kylie Taylor.
A player that stood out here was Jessiana Mora. She's from Apopka, Florida, a strong athlete with great overhand velocity.
And at catcher, Lydia Castro and McKenna Flaherty.
Lydia Castro out of Tampa, Florida. Standout speed, really showed a lot of speed overall in the tryout. and a very strong arm.
All right, let's take a look at the 12U national team for the Southeast. In the circle, we have Michaela Hoshake, Megan Haig, and Alyssa Hall.
Megan Haig is one of our top performers overall, had a very high score, both offensively and defensively. Look for her in the circle.
In the outfield, we have Abby Humber and Elle Luce.
Ellie Luce out of Zephyr Hills, Florida, very fast athlete, showed great athleticism overall in the tryout.
In the infield, we have Amaya Ross, Ashley Grace, Kate Bravaro, Lauren Anderson, and Eliza Kuhn.
A player to watch is Amaya Ross. She's out of Jacksonville, Florida. Very good hands and a very strong arm.
And at catcher, we have Presley Okamash and Taylor Kraft.
Taylor Kraft out of Oviedo, Florida, a great blocker. Really showed a good defensive presence back there behind the plate.
And when we come back, we'll have the rosters for the 13U and 14U Southeast. We'll also talk about how Easton is going to impact the Futures All-American Games.
Being selected in the NPF draft, you are immediately welcomed into an organization that demonstrates work ethic, dedication, and love for fast-pitch softball. As the official uniform provider for the NPF, we at Boomba recognize this. Our unparalleled craftsmanship shows in the way the products look and perform for these high-level athletes. Boomba's cutting-edge uniforms, products, and our commitment to the sport of fast pitch are why we are the official uniform provider for the NPF.
How did I get there? I played against the best. How did I get there? I challenged myself. How did I get there? I raised my level of competition.
USA Elite Select. Your legacy starts here.
We're back with the 13 and 14U rosters, but before we get to that, Jamie, can you talk about how Easton is going to be getting involved in the Futures All-American Games?
Yeah, something new we're doing this year is with our sponsorship with Easton, who's actually going to supply all the 13 and 14-year-olds with equipment that's all customized towards their team colors. So really exciting that these kids get to go play, and they're also going to get some free gear.
That's great, decked out with all the professional gear. Now let's get to our 13U Southeast roster. Representing the American team, let's start off with pitchers Addison Lowe, Madison Leonard, and Brooklyn Lucero.
A top performer was Addison Lowe. She's a right-handed pitcher out of Sweetwater, Tennessee. Great movement on her pitches.
In the outfield, we have Alyssa Perez, Elizabeth Draper, and Lily Million.
A player to look out for is Alyssa Perez. She's out of Sebring, Florida, a versatile athlete who can also play catcher.
Taking a look at the infield, we have Brooke Blankenship, Mariah Stevens, Juliana Ortiz, and Aubrey Brown.
Brooke Blankenship out of the Tampa Mustangs organization, an athlete to watch out for, very speedy middle infielder outfielder.
And at catcher, we have Madison Santana and Mary Beth Cahalan.
One of our top performers was Madison Santana. She's out of Plantation, Florida. One of the things that stood out was the arm strength that she showed behind the plate.
We move on to the national team. Let's start off with pitchers Elizabeth Faircloth, Jamie Davis, and Karina Lopez.
One of our top performers in this tryout was Elizabeth Faircloth. She's a right-handed pitcher out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Had a lot of velocity. Should have a great outing in the All-American Games.
And in the outfield, we have Gabby Givers, Sydney Turner, and Michelle Santiago.
Gabby Givers is one of those players that stood out in this tryout. She's out of Milton, Georgia. A very fast player, covered a lot of ground, also has a really strong arm.
Taking a look at the infield, Olivia Davis, Haley Weaver, and Brianna Robinson.
Olivia Davis out of Lakeland, Florida, another player to watch, very fast, also a very strong arm.
And behind the plate, we have Callie-Ann Rogers, Ansley Gunther, and Samantha Triana.
A fun catcher to watch was Callie-Ann Rogers. She's out of Crystal River, Florida. I'd watch for her to have a really good relationship with her pitchers.
In the 14U Southeast American team, pitching, we have Michelle Holder, Hannah Bruce, and Aaliyah Ashmael.
One of our top performers was pitcher Michelle Holder. She's with the Team Tampa Savarola organization. Great velocity on her fastball.
In the outfield, Savannah Summer and Angel Villanueva.
Savannah Summer was a player that really stood out in this tryout. She's out of Jones Creek, Georgia. Has a lot of power.
In the infield, we have Lauren Rende, Ashley Robinson, Brianna Jenke, Logan Sonnen, and Frankie Rakers.
Lauren Rende was one of our top scorers overall, a great athlete in the infield. She'll be a lot of fun to watch in the games.
And at catcher, Kaylee Frog and Michaela Sigler.
Sigler was a catcher who really stood out. She's out of Peachtree City, Georgia. watch for her to hit for a lot of power.
The 14U national team, let's take a look at our pitchers. Riley Hickok, Ariana Rivera, and Jenna Jones.
Riley Hickok, a right-handed pitcher out of Warner Robins, Georgia, really showed a lot of poise on the mound, has a lot of movement, and throws the ball hard.
And in the outfield, we have Alexis Poole and Alejandra Gonzalez.
Alexis Poole, a player to watch out of McDonough, Georgia. She can also play middle infield.
Our infielders are Emily Johnson, Shannon Glover, Mackenzie Randall, Alexis Wheeler, and Casey Westmoreland.
Someone who stood out in this tryout was Emily Johnson. She's out of Sunrise, Florida. A great athlete, shows a lot of range in the infield.
And behind the plate, Brianna Rivera and Kinsley Goolsby.
Brianna Rivera, catcher out of Royal Palm Beach. She'll actually have an opportunity to catch her sister, Ariana, in the All-American Games.
Well, congratulations to all those ladies who were named to the roster. Such an achievement. And Jamie, just take us through what can these athletes expect at the All-American Games?
Yeah, it's an exciting time for these athletes. They have an opportunity to come here, meet players that they've never played with. So it's kind of that fun. You get that camaraderie, and it's also competitive because you're going to be competing against some of the best athletes from across the country.
A lot of action will be happening in Orlando the first week of August, so mark your calendars. We'll see you then.
Being selected in the NPF draft, you are immediately welcomed into an organization that demonstrates work ethic, dedication, and love for fast-pitch softball. As the official uniform provider for the NPF, we at Boomba recognize this. Our unparalleled craftsmanship shows in the way the products look and perform for these high-level athletes. Boomba's cutting-edge uniforms, products, and our commitment to the sport of fast pitch are why we are the official uniform provider for the NPF.